Before anything gets started, just some breaking news. The Senators had just re-signed Chris Weidman. Obviously, Chris Weidman, defenseman from the Ottawa Senators, 1 year, $1 million, a great contract. Definitely underrated. He could be a top 4 guy. It's funny, the Wellington Diner on Twitter broke out the news and the other day, and the Senators officially made it official today. So welcome back to Ottawa, Chris, and let's get into the draft recap.
Les Sénateurs d'Ottawa sont très fiers de choisir. The Ottawa Senators are extremely pleased to select from the Boston U Terriers, Brady Tkachuk.
Oh my God. Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at @SensTalk_ for live updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. What you just witnessed at the beginning of this video was my honest, live reaction to the Senators' 4th overall selection, which was from Boston University, Brady Tkachuk. And we'll get into that. We're going to go through 1 through 7, the round selections for the Ottawa Senators. Actually, not a bad draft for Ottawa, and let's get into it, starting with the 4th overall pick, Brady Tkachuk. So first things first, before we get anything going with this selection, Brady Tkachuk's not a bad player. Brady Tkachuk is going to be an elite power forward in the National Hockey League. He's gritty, he's NHL ready, he's going to be an elite player. Let me get that out of the way. Why I said in the previous videos I'm nervous about him or hesitant with taking him is because if Filip Zadina would be available, which he was, the Canadians took Kotkaniemi 3rd overall. Zadina is a talent you shouldn't pass on. He has a great shot and a great release. I think my reaction there in that previous video, at the beginning of this video, showcased, I was really hoping for Zadina. Brady Tkachuk is a solid, going to be an elite player in the National Hockey League, I can guarantee you that. They both bring different skill sets to the team. I just think the Senators could have used a skill, in my opinion anyways, Filip Zadina, they don't fall off the tree, a skilled goal scorer like that. But he did, and the Senators thought Brady Tkachuk would be the better player, and you know what? 31 points last year with Boston, with the Terriers, and 8 goals. Doesn't look too good, but he did play against NCAA talent in the World Juniors. He had 7 points in 5 games, I believe. So Brady Tkachuk, he is going to be a good player in the National Hockey League. He may even play with the Senators next season. And, I'm excited for Brady to be with the Ottawa Senators. He's going to be an elite player. He's automatically our top prospect in the development pool for Ottawa. And, even though it's not the selection I wanted, the Senators brass, the Senators and their scouting have always made good selections like Hoffman and Stone and Alfie in the later rounds. So if they think Brady Tkachuk's the guy, I'm ready for Brady Tkachuk to prove it to me. Welcome to Ottawa, Brady, and he's gonna bring a gritty presence. He's gonna bring skill. He's gonna bring power, and he's gonna bring point production. He's a skilled player, and I'm excited for him to be in Ottawa. It's starting to grow on me here, and I'm really excited to see him play. Ottawa hasn't had a top prospect like this in quite a while, so we'll see what happens with Brady Tkachuk. We'll see if he plays in Ottawa next year. And, welcome to Ottawa, Brady. It's cool to have a member of the Tkachuk family in the nation's capital. Let's get to the second first-round selection for Ottawa. The 22nd pick the Senators had that they acquired from the Derek Brassard trade from the Pittsburgh Penguins, they traded to the New York Rangers. In that trade, I like this trade, one of the better trades Pierre Dorion has done in quite a while. The Senators acquired 26 overall picks, have only moved 4 spots down, and they also acquired a mid-second round pick. And they made good use with these 2 picks, so a great trade from Pierre Dorion. With the 26th pick in the National Hockey League entry draft to the first round, the Ottawa Senators selected Jacob Bernard-Docker. Jacob Bernard-Docker, way off the board, but he's starting to grow on me. He has very good scouting reports from ISS, etc. He is way off the board, though, but the Senators liked him, and I could see why. He's a two-way defenseman, really a stay-at-home guy. He had 41 points in 49 games with the Okotoks Oilers in AJHL. Top AHL defenseman. Somebody like that, I don't know, Chris Phillips. So I'm not going to compare him to Chris Phillips. Chris Phillips is a legend in the Senators organization. But I do believe Jacob Bernard-Docker will be a stable, stay-at-home defenseman in the National Hockey League. He's going to be a shutdown guy for Ottawa. And he will be a top 4 guy, in my opinion. I'm very excited about this guy. At first I was like, who is Jacob Bernard-Docker? But I think the Senators needed a guy like this. You need a shutdown guy. We think we just got him. And our 48th overall pick is very exciting as well. They're both committed to North Dakota. So let's get to the 48th overall pick. Welcome to Ottawa, Jacob. And this is a good selection. A lot of people are confused about it, but this is going to be a good selection. I have a good feeling about it. With the 48th overall selection in the second round, on the second day of the National Hockey League draft, the Ottawa Senators selected Johnny Tychonick. This guy was projected to be around this area, or maybe even a first-round selection, late first-rounder, early second-rounder, so the Senators got a steal here. The guy's an offensive defenseman. He's a power play quarterback, according to some scouts on EliteProspects.com, and he's a flashy, skilled forward. He's great character. You just watch his interviews. It's nice to see it's a player without generic answers like a regular hockey player would have. And interesting enough, he and the 26th overall selection for the Ottawa Senators, Jacob Bernard Docker, are close friends. They've known each other since they were 10 years old, and they're both committed to North Dakota next season for the college NCAA hockey season. And we all know North Dakota has great development for defensemen there. Example, even in the Senators prospect system, Christian Wolainen, solid NHL guy, going to be a solid NHL guy in my opinion. And Bernard Docker and Johnny Tychonick are supposed to be a pair together in North Dakota. Now, I think the Senators, this was a plan for the Senators here, where they just, in one day, just drafted a pair for our future line. And you got Bernard Docker, who's going to be a stay-at-home guy, and then you got Tychonick, who can use his skill. I'll put the links in the description below, highlights for every single draft pick. But Johnny Tychonick, this guy has an immense amount of skill, great speed, flashy plays, and Bernard Docker will hold the anchor down, and I think this is a future pair here. I really like these two picks. I think this is going to be really good for Ottawa in a few years, and so far, the 3 picks. Brady Tkachuk is growing on me. The first 3 picks are making me very happy. Let's get to Johnny Gruden. With the 95th overall pick in the 4th round in the 2018 National Hockey League Draft, the Senators selected Johnny Gruden. He is a two-way forward, and the guy is going to be, he's committed to Miami University in Ohio. Why do they call it Miami? I don't know. But the guy has an immense amount of skill. He's a two-way guy. He has some speed. He's on the shorter end. He's just around 6 feet. He's not really filled out yet. He's around 170 pounds, but he has room to grow. He had 60 points in 61 games played in the United States developmental system. He had 28 goals, though, in 2017-18 with that, and as well in the USHL. 34 points in 25 games. So the guy has some skill. He's going to play in NCAA for a few years, and I think it's safe to say this guy should be a National Hockey League player, probably a fringe second liner, for sure third liner. And I'm excited about this guy. You can take a look at his highlights. Crazy skill. Beautiful goals he scored. Great speed. And looking forward to this guy, see what he can do in the NCAA and in Ottawa in a few years. Forgot to mention, actually, Johnny Gruden's father, John Gruden, between 1998 and 2000, played for the Ottawa Senators for 20 games. So it's a little bit interesting there. It's cool to see the son of a former Senator suit up for the same team. Now let's get to the next pick. In the 5th round, 126 overall, the Ottawa Senators selected maybe the best name I've heard in hockey, Angus Crookshank. What a name. And he's automatically one of my favorite Senators prospects just for the name and the skill he has. Last season in the BCHL with the Langley Rivermen, he had 45 points in 46 games played, evenly distributed, 22 goals, 23 assists. What's interesting about this, in the description below, I have a video of 2 goals he scored. First one, nice shot. You gotta watch the second one. Wow, what skill. The guy has some dangles, he has some speed, but the puck handling skill he has, the hands he has, the way he can create plays, and the way the moves he can make, even though it's against minor competition, if you can work on that and develop that going forward, this might be a steal in the 5th round, and I'm really excited for Angus Crookshank. This guy seems very interesting to me. Very average amount of points, but the skill set is there in my opinion, and I think the Senators can develop him. He could be a serviceable. I think he maybe be able to reach the National Hockey League, and it's a little bit of a reach to make the National Hockey League, but I think this guy could be a solid 3rd, 4th liner for us, and maybe even more. I think this is a hidden gem in the National Hockey League draft, and I think this may be one of those players you look back on and you're like, wow, how did he fall to the 5th round and not the 2nd or 3rd? This is a great pick for Ottawa, and let's see if he can continue to develop that skill he has, because if you click down below, you got to watch that second goal. It is a beauty. Let's get to the next selection. With the 157th overall pick in the 6th round, the Sounders selected from Cape Breton, Screaming Eagles, Kevin Mandolese, a goaltender from Cape Breton of the QMJHL. The guy did not have good numbers, but Cape Breton was not exactly a good team either. In 37 games played, he had an .884 save percentage and a 3.46 goals against average. Now, I'm never against drafting a goalie 5th to 7th round, even if we have Philip Gustafsson and Marcus Hogberg. You never know. You really never know. He can either be trade value, or he even could be like the next Henrik Lundqvist. You don't know. And it's always good to draft a goalie in each round, in each draft, because goalies are so unpredictable. It's always good to have that goalie depth in the system. He was ranked 2nd by Net NHL Central Scouting for North American goalies. He's been compared to goaltenders like Matt Murray. He compares himself to Freddie Anderson. Scouts say he could be like a Matt Murray type of goaltender if he continues to develop. He doesn't have too many holes, and he uses his body and positions well. Apparently, he's 6'4", well-rounded, 180 pounds, 176 to be exact. So keep an eye on this guy. He might. I don't know. I would say I don't know if goalies are very hard to predict. So I don't know if he'll be a National Hockey League goalie, especially with Gustafsson and Hogberg in the mix. But we'll have to see. And, this guy, I think this guy, if he can, what the scouts are saying, maybe he could be a National Hockey League goalie, but goalies are so hard to predict, so I don't know what to say about this. But if people are right, where he could be like a Matt Murray and he can really develop his game, this pick could be a good one, especially when he was projected to be in the 2nd, 3rd round. We got him in the 6th round. It's a nice pick, and let's see what goes on with this one. To start off the 7th round, 188th overall, the Sounders selected Jakov Novak. He was passed over in the 2016 and 2017 NHL drafts, but this year, with the Janesville Jets of the NAHL, he exploded with goal and point production. In 56 games played, he had 73 points, 32 goals, and 41 apples that put on top of that. A video below skipped to number 1 on the highlight reel. It's I couldn't find full-out highlights for him because it's such a minor league. But if you look at the highlights, you go to skip to the end of the video. It's number 1 for the highlight pack for the top 5 there. Nice kick pass there. He kicked it right to the guy, his teammate for the game-winning goal. So the guy, Jakov Novak, I don't know if he'll be an NHL player. He could be a guy that fills out a role in Belleville. You never know, he can maybe reach the National Hockey League, but most likely he's an overager. He's going to be in Bentley University for a few years, and he'll probably be somewhere in the AHL system for a few years afterwards. So we'll see what happens with him. He might surprise, but probably will just be an AHL lineman, not lineman, but an AHL depth guy, somebody in the top 6 in the AHL, maybe more, but we'll see. With the last pick for the Sounders in the 2018 National Hockey League draft in the 7th round, 194th overall, the Sounders selected Luke Lohate from Minnetonka High School in Minnesota. This is a weird kind of pick, but after looking at some highlights, I can kind of see why he has some potential here. He had 30 points, 24 games played last season. Looking from the highlights, you can click down below, you'll see that. The guy has immense amount of puck keeping skill. He can really keep the puck, and he is great at passing the puck. He finds ways to get the puck open to the other guy. He finds ways to open space. So this guy, it's a bit of a reach to say he'll be a National Hockey Leaguer, but we've seen crazier things happen. But another good pick here for Ottawa. And if he could just work on his skill with keeping that puck and his strengths with just keeping that puck and passing, he could be certainly a serviceable depth kind of piece. So we'll have to see what happens with him, but he just needs to keep on develop. Overall, great draft for Ottawa. Now let's get into the conclusion. So my draft rating right now for Ottawa would be a B+. It would be an A- if they would have selected Philip Zadina, just because I think passing up that kind of skill is a little bit ludicrous. But Brady Tkachuk is not a bad player at all. He's going to be an elite player in the National Hockey League, like I said. I'm very excited to see Brady Tkachuk play, and I'm sure he's going to bring great elements to the table, and he's going to be a fixture to the Sounders lineup for years to come. The second first round pick and the second round pick, Tychonick and Docker, that really excites me. That's a future pairing for Ottawa, I believe, and that's gonna be great. Gruden, I think he could be a third liner, and moving down the board, there's some nice pieces that could be depth guys, even surprise. So overall, I think the Senators hit the bullseye here, or around the bullseye, had a really good draft in the 2018 draft, and I think the Senators really improved their prospect pool throughout, and especially adding a guy like Tkachuk. Just a great draft around, and excited to see how these guys turn out in the next few years. So besides that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soon. So please follow us on Twitter at SensTalk_. For live updates to the games and of course breaking news. Please like us on Facebook at SensTalk, add us to our circles on Google Plus SensTalk. Click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Like this video, share this video, whatever circle stuff. Please check out our website, SensTalkCentral.com. We update that every single day, and of course, click right here and here for playlists. To subscribe to us, please do, and of course, for most recent uploads. So besides that, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Comment below what you guys thought about and girls thought about the draft, and I'll see you guys soon. Go Sens, go.